Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, you found your home for underground Bible study that's always fresh and organic. Today we're looking at verses 14 through 17 of Psalm 104. Psalm 104 is that great psalm of praise to God for the creation. And all of the created order has been addressed here except for one, and that's man. And so we're going to see that today because even as he cares for the animals by giving them drink and housing and places to live and eat, things to eat, so he also blesses man. Let's read 14 through 17. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon which he hath planted, where the birds make their nests. As for the stork, fir trees are her house. So these 4 verses that conclude the first half, at least as I divide this psalm, really come now to the crowning achievement of creation, and that is mankind. So he causes grass to grow for the cattle, and you think, as verse 14 starts out, that you're going to have more of this created, the creatures that he made, his provision for them, his care for them, the mercy of God expressed. But then he goes directly to mankind, and herb for the service of man. I think both of them should be considered in the service of man, the cattle and the herb, because both of them are used by men to feed themselves, and so much more, clothe themselves, make tools for themselves. The cattle and the herb has a long history of being manipulated and used by men to produce a good life and be prosperous. And, of course, all of this comes from God's hand. But notice that it says there that he may bring forth food out of the earth. So the cattle is a part of that. The herb is a part of that. Man's ability to bring forth out of the ground sustenance is an important gift that God has given to us. As a matter of fact, he told Adam when he exited the garden, in the sweat of your brow will you till the ground, and it will bring forth thorns and thistles to you. So we know that even Adam, as he came forth out of the garden, had the tools necessary and the skills necessary to till the ground and to grow his own grain. Verse 15, and the wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face to shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. Now here 3 things are addressed: wine, oil, and bread. All 3 are staples in any diet. The oil, of course, comes from the olive and from other pitted fruits that produce an oil. And bread comes from the ground, the grain that man has grown with the help of the cattle and the herbs. So the bread strengthens man's heart. The oil makes his face to shine as an ointment. And the grape has been given by God to man as a supplement to his diet. So there's so much here that we see coming directly from, again, the chambers of heaven. He's established that chamber in the waters. And what's he doing from there? He's providing for the beasts of the field, and he's providing for men. Verse 16, the trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon which he hath planted. So all of the trees, as he mentions the cedars of Lebanon, which are those huge cedar trees that grow in that part of the world, which were so coveted in ancient times for their ability to be used and to last in buildings that were constructed. They were shipped all over the then ancient world via the Mediterranean Ocean and by land to places where they were building. So the trees are being mentioned here. God has done that. He planted them. And the birds there make their nest, except for the stork. And he makes his nest in the fir house, in the fir tree. So Anyway, I hope you'll join me next week for the second half of Psalm 104 on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.